Vocal communication is critical for the reproduction, social interaction, survival and speciation for most frogs, birds and mammals, including humans. Our ability to communicate via speech has contributed to make us the dominant species on our planet. The zebrafinch is a songbird that is one of the best animal models we have for human speech development and learning. The species breeds in the Australian desert and sings complicated songs and makes a variety of communicative calls. Recently, a new soft call was discovered that is only produced when the birds are in very hot conditions. These sounds have been also referred to as heat calls, and they were suggested to have close-range paired-embryo communicative relevance in the global temperature rise context. However, the amplitude and frequency of these calls were not completely described, and also by what biophysical mechanism they are produced remained unknown. We recorded these vocalizations made by zebrafinches in the wild, in the nest. They are the very high frequency, very soft chirps you can hear. But to accurately measure their amplitude, we also induce heat vocalizations in the lab. In this video, you can see a zebrafinch at 42 degrees, and we hope this illustrates how difficult it can be to hear these vocalizations. Our data showed that the calls are very high frequency, about 7 kHz, but also extremely soft. They're about 14 decibels at 1 meter distance. This is just above our human hearing threshold, and it's actually in between quiet human breathing and most quiet rooms. To understand the biophysical processes making these vocalizations, we investigated the respiratory tract. We could reproduce these sounds easily in the lab when we passed air through the vocal tract. And by a series of experiments, we found that these vocalizations are actually aerodynamic whistles, made in the bird's larynx during inspiration. Here you see the flow rate as a function of frequency, and you can see that these heat whistles are produced when the flow rates are very high and actually in the same range as is known from thermal panting. All communicative sounds in birds are produced in a unique vocal organ, the syrinx, but these whistles were surprisingly produced in the larynx. So these vocalizations seem to be a byproduct of the bird being very warm and caused when they try to reduce their body temperature. We show that these heat whistles are so soft they are under the hearing threshold of adult but also juvenile zebrafinches, and therefore we think they are inaudible by adults but also inaudible by the embryos in the egg. They can therefore not respond to them as acoustic cues. As a consequence, we argue that referring to them as calls is not correct, as a call implies communication, for which these whistles are simply too soft. Instead, they are a side product of panting and should not be termed heat calls, but heat whistles.